I can't begin to delve into my story and journey as a public servant without talking about my hero. She's the bravest, most courageous, empathetic, and compassionate person that I know. Unafraid to fight for her convictions, but humble enough to acknowledge when she doesn't know, and strong enough to ask for help when she needs it. To me, my hero exhibits all of the characteristics of a leader. So if I can be half the person that she is, then I can rest easy knowing that I've lived my life to the fullest and fought to make the world a better place. My hero is my mom. From the time my mom was young, she always put herself second and sacrificed for those she cared about. Whether it was walking the furthest to school so that her siblings could attend the better one closer to their house, or whether it was moving to a foreign country, believing the United States would offer better opportunities for the children that she had yet to bear, my mom was always putting others first. Learning the importance of public service and developing a sense of duty to be a public servant was imparted on our family by my mom's actions. For the past 15 years, regardless of our financial situation, she faithfully volunteered for cooking and serving food at the Boston Rescue Mission for the homeless, as if she felt it was a responsibility. But she didn't serve there because she pitied them, but rather, she wanted to empower them. She also wanted me to truly know that the people that we serve by listening to their stories. She wasn't teaching me sympathy, she was teaching me that we're all worthy of being seen. Over the years, I've been stopped several times by strangers, all who'd ask if I was Donna's kid. When I'd quizzically respond yes, they'd each tell me their stories of how she saved their lives. Whether by showing them love and affection for the first time in several years, or helping them when it seemed that all hope was lost, it was her empathy and compassion for others that is just simply undeniable. But the most shocking and memorable was the time a man approached me on my way to work. He ran up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and took a deep breath. And while I didn't know the guy, there was this certain sense that we knew each other. He slowly looked up at me, gently grabbed my hands, and asked, "Your mom is Donna, right?" After answering yes, his eyes watered up and his emotion transferred over to me, and I felt his gratitude. Your mom was the first person to see that I existed. She was the first person to show me what kindness felt like. She saved my life. And while these moments brought me immense pride as my mom's son, it clearly illustrates that there was tremendous pain and sorrow that virulently pulsed throughout society. That with the advent of social media and social conditioning, that humans have lived their lives pacifying their trauma, undervaluing their self-worth, and struggling to discover their identity. As a Korean American who isn't Korean enough to be Korean, but not white enough to be American, my struggle with identity has been turbulent. That's why I've always looked up to social justice leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Stokely Carmichael. Why when I heard Obama proclaim that change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. It was then that I knew I found my calling. The sense of inspiration and purpose brought a new drive and ambition to change the narrative, to break the mold, and to be the one that I had been waiting for. But there was one major problem. I realized that not a single one of my heroes looked like me, sounded like me, or shared the same experiences as me. Clearly, this had to change. And to echo the words of President Obama, we have to be the change that we seek. That we can't afford to not just have just representation because too much is hanging in the balance. It was then that I realized that public service and politics was my true purpose. But politics is as treacherous a world as it appears. While you don't see the House of Cards shit that I get asked about all the time, the sense of paranoia, distrust, fear of being backstabbed, and a general sense of anxiety is very much what one signs up for. You dissect every word, every encounter, every conversation, every post. You're meticulously mapping out each step, making a plan A, B, C, and D. There is simply no room for error. Basically, a life in politics is simply to be Korean American. Over the past 5 years, though, I had the honor of serving in the office of Massachusetts House Speaker. Not only did he take a chance on a kid who had no experience at the peak of political power, Speaker DeLeo actively opened doors that I otherwise would have never known existed. The realm of possibilities had expanded beyond the scope of what I thought was possible for my life, let alone my career. The relationships I developed with some of the world's most powerful leaders, the experiences I gained, and the lessons that I learned were only possible because the speaker made sure that I had those opportunities. My time in the speaker's office was one that I will forever be grateful for. But doing cool shit and meeting my heroes was not the mission. Elevating marginalized people to new heights, making spaces for all people, and changing the game is absolutely the goal. So in my next chapter, I've dedicated it to using the knowledge that I've gained and the platform that I've built to not just talk about it, but be about it. Because talk isn't just cheap, it's dangerous if not turned into action. But you also can't change something that you don't understand, and you can't understand something that you haven't experienced. So to take the Korean American community to the next level, let's rally together, become a family, and fight as one.